Today's the 8th of January, and this is going to be quite a brief update. As expected, very little work was done over the New Year period, but they seem to have caught up quite quickly. On the 4th of January, I went to Konkan in order to get my visa, and fortunately I was successful in getting that. That day, the day before, the electricians had arrived and set up camp overnight so they could start work early in the morning. I can't show you what they did because it's now been rendered with cement. They drilled out channels in the Q-block walls and inserted conduit, and since then the other workers then on the 5th of January put cement over it. So incredibly rapid progress was made over a very, very short period of time. Before they actually put the conduit in, they marked with little red crosses on the walls of the house according to the plans that they'd been provided. And my wife and I then went in to see if we agreed with the positioning of the power points and the switches. Basically, we agreed. There were only a couple of things that we wanted, a couple of points extra, and we're not going to be charged any more. The house builder was quite generous in the number of points he had put into the different rooms. But the difficulty is that however many points you have in a house, you never have enough. You always find them. It's like the more cupboard space you've got, the more junk you get to fill it. Anyway, as I say, during a period of about 30 hours, the spaces for the power points now appear in the walls. Most of the rendering has been done on the internal walls. I can't pass without showing you. Our sleep was disturbed shortly after 5:30 yesterday morning. The tiles arrived. The Marvel man who does the roof is still working elsewhere, but he will come back. We were told that we needed 40 tiles on the roof, and I think that's probably about the right number. But as you can see, we have a significant number of tiles. I think perhaps that the builder had to order a minimum quantity before they were sent out to us. So we're going to have some left over by the look of it. I can't remember in the last video if all the walls at the base of the house had been filled in. They certainly have now. The rendering is, I think, complete in the house. I haven't been in. Again, I'm reluctant to make a video standing over somebody when he's working. I don't think it's very nice. I've reason to believe that they've done significant work in the bathrooms as well. I'm going around the back of the building. I mentioned earlier that I was concerned about my wife and mother-in-law are just going out. I was concerned about the possibility of having to get access to the underside of the house into the void. The house itself effectively stands on stilts because we have a pile-driven system. And I made too much fuss about it. I shouldn't have bothered. They went along with my wishes. We bought a small plastic cover, and there's the door. They put it in. Done a very neat job of it. Just to the side you can see a yellow pipe, and that is for the external supply of electricity to the house. I say there were 3 electricians, so it wasn't like one man had to work his socks off in order to do everything, but they worked very methodically. There's no actual wire within the conduits at the moment, and he will be coming back to actually supply the electricity, the consumer unit, and we also asked about the air conditioning, and he'll be doing that as well, at least fitting it up to the power supply. We were told that today we're going to have a lorry come which will have cement in it rather than concrete, and it would seem, if my wife translated properly, that we're going to have a lot of rendering done today. Some rendering's been done. The outside hasn't been rendered, but judging by the speed in which they did the other rooms, it's not going to take long. The space by the bathroom has not been rendered internally. It's just the bathroom areas that they haven't rendered. I don't know why, but they know what they're doing. I haven't got a clue. It's changed significantly. A lot of the work that they've done has been of a technical nature, if you like, rather than the bulk, heavy-duty sort of stuff that they were doing before. And the man I call Brains, that's the husband of Fun, the lady who seems to be in charge of the ordering. Don't know if you can see, but with the window, he has gone round carefully putting in metal strips, top and bottom, and he's done this on most of the windows. He hasn't done them on the other side of the house, by the kitchen side, by the steps. Effectively what he's done, he's put in window frames. What will happen is that the window man will come here. He will then measure the frames as they sit inside the building. He'll go away, make the windows, and then come back and fit them. We want mosquito screens as well. I don't know how long it'll take him to make them, but certainly the windows are, shall we say, almost half done when you think about it. Looking to the top, there's the lintels, and things are progressing. Going back from the side, my wife has been planting in the garden. Jumping the gun a little bit because we've got a lot to do. People in the next house are beavering away. Those things in the pots with jagged edges, they are spring onions. Americans call them scallions, I believe. To the rear of the house, you've seen before, that's where we keep our washing machine. Our cousin built a little hut after he demolished the sala. Okay, that's just about it up to date as far as the building is concerned. These windows and the doorways have not had the little strips put on them yet. My wife is going out now to take her mother shopping. I mentioned in the last video the new year and the terrible death toll in Thailand on the roads. I don't want to be morbid, and the death toll was only 284 during the accounting period that they use over here. It was a decrease of about 50 or 60 deaths on what would normally be the case. I'm going to go to the gate now. Little Kaimuk is running around. I don't want my wife to squash him. No, my mother-in-law is going to close the gate. So there we have it. Happy New Year. Yes, it's a Happy New Year. Some people describe Thailand as paradise. It's not. Pure and simple, it's not paradise. We all have our lives to lead, and the pressures of normal living don't disappear because we're living over here. As you can see, the weather's gorgeous today, absolutely beautiful. I know that people where I used to live are putting up with storms, continuous rain, and thoroughly unpleasant, but this is absolutely gorgeous. Getting back to the Happy New Year bit, one of our workers on January the 1st, or January the 2nd actually, had a telephone call to tell her that an event had occurred, which was a personal tragedy, terrible tragedy for the family. I won't elaborate. So Happy New Year is, you can say it, but it's not actually going to happen. Now going back to the death toll on the roads. 3 days ago, when coming home from school with two sisters on his bike, the guy who helped build the wall here, or raise the level of the walls, managed to drive into a lamppost. That was about 4:10 in the afternoon. We knew less than 20 minutes later. He was rushed to Konkan Hospital, and he's a lucky boy to be still alive. His mother is going to see him today. He's being taken out of what was an induced coma, and it's looking good now, but he could easily have died. One sister broke a leg, the other had a bang on the head, and they had to keep her overnight. So that's the Happy New Year bit. Driving is atrocious over here, and naturally my cousin, because that's what he is, he and the two girls on the bike, they weren't wearing helmets. None of the kids going to school are wearing helmets, and it's the inevitability that such a thing will occur. Not much fun when it's your own family. Our own arrangements have been screwed up. Been very concerned. The kid is a nice kid. He's very big for his, well, he's 17, so you'd expect him to be of a reasonable size, but he's a powerfully built guy, could make a great wing forward at rugby. And there we are. So we're promised big events today, and I look forward to seeing them. Place is looking a little bit tidier than it was. You can probably hear a grinding machine going. Again, I don't want to go in there and disturb them. Things are coming along nicely, and sorry if I've been a little depressing, but as I say, Thailand is not paradise. It's much nicer to live in a lovely climate. Cost of living is lower, but we all have our lives, and there are pressures, and we have to learn to deal with them regardless of where we are. So we are, you're up to date. If anything dramatic happens today to change the appearance of the building, I will make another quick video. Okay, again, thank you for watching, and Chok Di. Bye.